Today, we are talking about Gothic horror stories, frightful tales of the supernatural. I did not enjoy this book. I'm kind of disappointed. I thought I would. A lot of the authors, like Mary Shelley, Edgar Allan Poe, uh, Nathaniel Hawthorne, I really thought I would get some interesting stories. And for the most part, it's just they're okay, or I do not like them. I did not find one single story that I loved. They were just either okay or I hated them and they were the most boring and grueling story to try to get through and read. First story, The Dream by Mary Shelley. To me, it is a very boring story. It takes forever. Like, there is so much fluff, but it takes forever to get to why it's scary. And to me, it's not scary. So, the main scariness in that story is this woman has a vision of what her lover's life will be like if she doesn't marry him. And he's weak. He is basically starving to death and just so sad and isolated. Like, he's alone, doesn't want to do anything. And that's like the horror. And I think this story could have been so much scarier and so much better if it was this big pushback of like, she didn't want to marry him. They had been together and she saw signs that she didn't like. So she was like, oh, my dad and my brother died, so I gotta go grieve them. I can't marry you. Like, I couldn't possibly. And he's like forcing her hand, like he's trying to force her into it. And so then she goes to have the vision to be like, okay, what's gonna happen if I marry him or if I don't? And she sees her life and she's like imprisoned and dying by starvation or like just horribly miserable if she doesn't marry him because he punishes her. And so she's like, I guess I gotta marry you. Like, hopefully, I can maybe make it better. Maybe you'll take pity on me if I'm like really nice to you. I think that would have been a much better and more compelling horror story. The Unholy Compact, or the second story, um, basically, it's a guy who accidentally makes a deal with a vampire, and his lover saves him by putting this gold cross around her neck, and it becomes a family heirloom. And like the scary is that he made a pact with the vampire, but everything works out, so it's a fine story. The Fall of the House of the Usher, that one just made me mad because what do you mean? What do you mean? So in that one, this guy goes and visits his friend. His sister is very ill. They're being like, yeah, she's really weird. And her brother is talking about how much he loves her and how he's so worried and like he doesn't know what he's going to do with his life when she dies. And then she dies and he's like, oh no, she died. I'm going to keep her body for like a week because I'm suspicious. And the friend is like, what? Okay, do you? He keeps her body, and we're like, not really sure what's going on, but the main character is kind of like just noticing how odd that his friend is. And his friend keeps mumbling, can you hear that? Can you hear that? Do you hear that? We come to find out that sister didn't die. And with all the clues, it's like, well, yeah, of course. Like, dude, what were you doing? Because he's suspicious of her death. When they put her in the coffin, he's like, it's so weird. She looks alive. She's still beautiful as ever. And then he hears stuff. And nobody was like, let's open the coffin and make sure she's really dead. They didn't have a doctor come check her. So then she gets out of her coffin, but ends up dying. And it's like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, I would be so mad. And so I didn't find that scary. I just was annoyed because it's like, what do you mean? Why wouldn't you open the coffin? And this one was one of the more interesting ones. This is one that I didn't hate, but like, it's not scary. So this girl is new to town, and people notice that when she's working with this girl, she's not doing anything. She's very lazy, and the other person is helping take care of everything. Even though they both are working as a school teacher, the new girl is not doing anything, and the other girl is doing everything for all the students and for the other teacher. The other girl ends up basically like withering away. She dies. And then the new girl ends up marrying right away. And after a year, her husband ends up dying. And she just keeps running through these people. Like, these people get super attached to her. They want to take care of her. They do everything for her. But yet they're wasting away for no reason, it seems. And it comes to a point where the narrator of the story is saying how she had an interaction where she helped her carry her groceries back to her house. She ended up getting super sick for 2 weeks. Like, it was the worst sickness she ever had, and she was like basically bedridden for those 2 weeks. And then after that, she never helped that girl again. When the girl died, nobody would go to her house, but then she ends up like seeing her and goes out to help her, and it ends up killing her. And it was an interesting story. I thought it was good, but it's not great, and it's not scary. Like, there was no part where I was like, oh, that's so scary. Like, all of these stories are just, they're okay. And I think it just, I don't know. I don't think these should have been stories to put in this. I feel like, so this book was $30. I didn't pay for it. I got it as a gift. But I'm like, I am so sad that you spent your money on this, because it was not good. So sorry. I'm sure someone else likes it. I just don't like the writing style where it takes forever to tell you. Like, I do not need all the details of your bookshelf, what your dress looks like, where you're going. Like, I don't need all those details, and I don't need tons and tons of metaphors. I hate that. So that writing style really bothers me, and that is the writing style of all of these stories. And it was very annoying, because it's like, you can tell me the story without all this fluff. I don't know. Missed the mark for me. Not my favorite. It was okay, but I will not read this again. So I will be donating this. Hopefully someone finds it and they love it, because I hated it. I would give this a 1 out of 10. It was okay. There were some interesting-ish stories, but they're not scary, and they weren't great. I didn't enjoy it. I really had to push myself to finish this, and I don't think it was worth the read. So, yeah. Goodbye.